Hey everybody, welcome to On the Nose, and this is my son, Brehn. If you saw it spelled, you would never say it correctly. I'm sure he'll get me back someday for that.
No, I
No.
won't.
uh, but yeah, so I actually when I originally was gonna start doing like the podcast stuff, you were like the first person I wanted on, but it's taken like a year to actually get here, so.
Yeah, not by any avoidance. Just
Yeah.
yeah. Like, oh, yeah, we should podcast. It's like, oh, okay, and then just never make it.
Yeah. I don't know why that mic is working for you because that mic straight up hated me when I had it. Did not work well, but it sounds fine for you.
I don't know. Uh, yeah, the only thing I can't use it for is like gaming because if I usually try and lean to this side when I'm gaming, and then it's like no one can hear me. It's too far away.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like I recorded with it and I literally was holding it like right here the whole time. And then the person who was helping me with my podcast at that time was like, you need to stay really close to the mic. I'm like, you don't understand. I was literally like, my arms hurt when I was done. I was holding it right here the whole time. I was making out with it and it was still like cutting out. And I don't know if it was like, it could have been like my tablet or I have no idea. So,
I don't know.
yeah. Actually, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the job that you no longer have. Um, but before that, I read an article today about salmon. It is very funny to me. So they had like a whole bunch of salmon, both like adults and babies, that were in a truck that they were transporting to a particular river because they wanted to up the population, except that the truck crashed and like fell over and the driver's fine, so no sad story part, but the salmon ended up going into a completely different river
Oh,
that was not supposed to have salmon introduced to it.
they still
um
got in the river, just not the right one.
yeah, exactly. And I don't, for some, I was like reading, it was just totally cracking me up because it was like, oh, oops, like and they're gonna have to start tracking these salmon and see how they're doing and you
Like,
know
so like it fell over and it just happened to be next to a different river.
Yeah, and the truck like slid down the embankment and broke open and some of the fish died, but like a shit ton of them survived and they're like, woohoo!
Yeah.
And they're like, well,
There's salmon there now.
yep. I hope there'll be like updates because I'm kind of curious how they'll be in a couple of years, a few generations.
Speaking of animal stuff, did you hear about the frog that has a mushroom growing out of it?
Of its butt.
I don't think it was out of its butt. I think it was just a mushroom growing out like the side of it.
Oh, I swear there was one I heard about that was growing out of its butt, but I don't maybe
It's like the
maybe
first thing if you type frog with it like comes up with mushroom growing
mushroom.
out. A frog in India has a mushroom sprouting out of it. Researchers have never seen anything like it.
I wonder why.
I don't know. So far, it's everyone just been like, oh, it seems real, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't, like frogs move around a lot. It feels like that wouldn't be the most like opportune like spot for like sprouting.
Yeah, they were like, well, maybe maybe it was just like the mushroom got stuck to it, but they said even while it was moving, the mushroom like stayed in place. So
Interesting. There's gonna be people who'll be like, oh, Last of Us.
yeah, yeah, all the people being like Last of Us. Oh wow. Uh,
There's uh,
hmm, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, in the picture of the truck that crashed, it's like fully upside down. 77,000 young salmon. That's how many,
That's a lot of fucking salmon.
right?
That's a lot of salmon.
So many.
Yeah. Stinky, stinky dog. Has worms.
How did you discover that she had worms?
I took her out to poop, and I noticed when she was pooping, there was like something not poop colored. So I went and looked, and like there, big worm going. "Eh." I'm like,
Ugh,
dude, like
yeah,
from
that
where? Like when?
was.
She hasn't eaten any poop recently or anything like that. So I'm like, and the
Is it
cats don't have worms, so
is it the kind of worms you can get from eating bugs?
um, I don't know. Horsehair.
I know, like that can be like a source. What the hell happened to my tabs? I had like all my tabs like organized and something happened.
Let's see, not that one. The kind of bugs that crickets have are horse hairs. I can't get it from that. It definitely wasn't that. It was a roundworm. Whatever
Ah,
the big
that's
was.
weird.
It's
Gross.
she probably just ate some nasty grass. That's
Yeah, gross.
yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things that just one of the advantages of having cats, indoor cats especially, is you just don't have to deal with some of the grossness of. I remember when I first got Russ, he was going through like a deworming thing, and it was awful. Like not even like I don't remember seeing any worms. It was just the impact of the meds on his digestion was like
Yeah.
awful.
Well, I'm not looking forward to that. I remember how bad it was when she was a puppy and we dewormed her, so now
Yeah.
it's gonna be full grown dog sized.
Piles of poo.
Yeah. The creature.
Yeah, Amos is locked in here with me somewhere, but I don't know where he went.
Yeah.
Probably underneath the bed. It's like his favorite spot. Since I won't let him in the closet, I put a doorstop in front of the closet. I'm just like,
He just wants to go in the closet.
yeah, he'll like spend all of his time in there.
Bastard.
Yeah. Just like, okay then.
Yeah, dog the dog's just on her bed dreaming right now. She's doing the little yeah. Every now and then she'll get really into it and be like, woof. Oh yeah, she did it just now. Woof.
She's gonna get those worms.
No.
So
Dream worms.
you still been playing I can't remember the name of the game.
Helldivers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still been playing it. Yeah.
I played
Uh,
Diablo yesterday and um I just skipped the campaign. That was so much more fun. Just getting to go back to like just running around and smashing stuff. And I was like, okay, because I was so stressed out about having to do the campaign again because
did
it's just boring.
they added the ability to skip the campaign?
If you've already beaten it once, then yeah,
Ah, that's good.
yeah,
That's part of why I didn't play it again too, because I was like,
yeah.
how do
It's
I
like
play the
it's too
campaign?
soon. They were literally like, let's release the game, and then 2 months later, you're gonna have to play it again.
It's
And
like,
I'm like,
no.
yeah. And it's not that the game is bad; it's just too soon. Maybe a year later, but
Yeah,
But yeah, I just was like, I just wanted to play a game that's brainless and easy to, you know, and be,
just Smash.
yeah. So I'm playing the barbarian, which is pretty fun.
I think that's the one I was playing.
Yeah. Just I was like doing the one where like she goes like whoosh, and cuts like that. And that was cool. And then I switched it to one where she hits the ground. It goes like, and that one's even better,
I think I
especially
was
for
using
mobs.
the hammer one, the one where you hammer the ground and it does AoE.
Mm, yeah. So if I leveled up in like 3 hours, I'm already like level 33 or something. So just doing the whispers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the whispers.
And for this and for this season, you get a little dude, a little robot elemental dude that runs around with you and helps kill stuff. And honestly, it's like maybe too OP sometimes.
Oh.
I'm like, hey, I was gonna kill that. Why you like killing everything for me? Like
Yeah. Oh, you playing the game for me, man.
Yeah. So, so how's it getting a break from working ish?
Uh I mean like it's okay. I it just gets replaced with other stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
All the
um, yeah, and then other stuff that doesn't, well, not like my job paid me either. So, yeah, I don't know. I still feel kind of like stunted from it because I still haven't gotten paid from like the last 3 months I worked.
Yeah.
It's
Are they
like
planning to pay you or
when I left, they were planning to pay me, so I don't know.
yeah, that's like I mean there are a lot of fines involved for them if if you were to get mad enough to report them or whatever.
And it's not their first time. They got taken to the labor board before, so they'd be a repeat offender. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. I'm like, just pay me.
Yeah.
But uh, yeah. Well, it's just like, and I'm not expecting them to pay for like the interest I accrued on my debt because they weren't paying me. But it's like reaching the point where I'm like, now I'm getting even more interest because
Yeah.
it's like I'm still waiting.
Yeah. And that's not or it's like where that where's the line? Like if you didn't like them or like
Yeah, it would
one of
make it
them.
so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like don't be friends with your bosses because when they screw you over, it feels bad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have the power to do anything about it.
Yeah. Without feeling like a bad guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I already feel
Yeah.
bad taking unemployment.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad quitting, or well, I mean quitting, getting having to leave because they weren't able to pay me anymore to take unemployment, and it's like I'm like, well, I'm not working, so technically I could work, but if I was working for them, I wouldn't be getting paid.
Yeah.
So it's like the bills would just be racking up.
But the unemployment was like that part was fine. Like you didn't have issues getting it.
I didn't have issues getting the employment, and I told them I was gonna take it. Um, they were like, "Well, you need to do what you gotta do," but I'm like, you know, could just pay me.
Right. I don't I like I've worked at places that like they had a hard time. They'd go through periods of not having enough money, but they would like communicate and
Yeah,
like the owner would not take he would not take money to make sure that we got paid.
yeah,
So
that's
sometimes we get paid a couple days late, but you know,
not
it
2 months
wasn't
late.
yeah, that's gnarly.
Yeah, and there's never any sense that they're cutting back. Like, like it's my boss. He's still buying all the weed he wants. They're still drinking wine. They're still going out to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels very much like, once we've gotten what we want, then you can get your paycheck.
Yeah, which
It's
is
like, bruh.
Maybe that worked 50 years ago, but
Well, yeah, clearly it worked, 50, 40 years ago, but considering the last time they had someone take them to the labor board was between 2000 and 2010, you think they would have figured it out from then,
Mhm.
but I think for them, because the 2008 collapse was so hard on the company, they're just sort of in this mindset where they're like, "Oh, it wasn't our fault. It was just the circumstances around it that were the problem, and other people weren't being reasonable."
Yeah.
And I'm
Mm,
like, "No,
boomer.
no."
The the non-adapting mindset.
Yeah, and it's not like I just sat there and was like, "Oh, yeah, it seems okay." Like, I just feel like, "Hey, these are things you could do to try and fix it, maybe move away from paper payment, move towards direct deposit, stop giving people discounts, especially when they pay late and you still give them the discount. They're just going
Yeah.
to keep paying late." And they're like, "Well, we've been doing this way this whole time and it's always worked." I'm like, "Has it always worked? Doesn't seem like it's working." Like,
If you can't do the most basic thing of paying your employees, it's probably not working.
yeah. And I'm just like, bruh. But one, and I recently got offered a job at different company for doing a field technician job. It'd be similar to what I was doing before, maybe like a little less work. And it'd be at 28 and it would have benefits and all that. But it would require me to like not be home for multiple weeks. And
Oh,
I
it's
can't
like,
do that.
yeah,
I mean, I can't like I can't leave Itzel alone at home for multiple weeks or even a
yeah,
week.
that's a
So
lot.
it's just sort of I'm like, well, I guess I'm just can't do that career path anymore because they
Yeah,
all of those jobs are require a significant level. I mean, they're basically geared for the single person with no significant familial attachments that can
yeah,
just fuck off whenever they want. They're made
yeah.
for Andrew.
For context, Andrew was a coworker troll.
Yeah, troll and a little goblin, stinky, just genuinely awful person to be around.
It's like that coworker that leaves people traumatized so they can't work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and I was gonna say, for just for context for people watching or listening, maybe explain what being a field tech is.
Oh, yeah. I guess I didn't even say what my job was. So I was a archaeologist. I wasn't the senior archaeologist. I was field technician. So I would help the senior archaeologist usually by doing the grunt work. So when we had a job, like let's say we have a parcel we have to survey for any archaeological resources, I'd be the one who actually walks around and looks for it. Or if we have a construction project where we think there might be something there, I'd be the person who's actually there looking at the hole while they're digging. That's kind of the brunt of the field work. Sometimes we would do excavations, very rarely. We usually tried to avoid doing them because they cost so much. And obviously, they don't have the labor to do it anyway. But uh, I think it was basically mostly that. And then I'd go back to the office and write basically what I saw in a detailed report format.
I saw one of those reports. It was cool. Like I didn't realize how much like historical information, like you're looking at like what people were writing about the area like I don't know, 200 years ago or something, and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally every single report we write. There's sort of the boilerplate portion, which is like the California or the federal regulations. And then you got to write about what the project is, where the area is currently, You have to write about the historic context. So that would be like basically the last 200, 300 years. For California, it's like 200, 150 years. And then prehistoric, so going all the way up to like 20,000 years in some areas. The prehistoric doesn't change too much because a lot of that information is kind of broadly spread across like a county. So it's, usually we have a single format for the prehistoric section for an entire county that just needs to be updated for a project. While the historic one, usually we have to change it for every project because it's more nuanced. And then we have the geologic section, which is each parcel is different. Each parcel has different soil depth and different soil material. So that one we always have to do for each one.
the, the behind the scenes of construction.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, you already think about how expensive it is just to do construction. And then you start adding in regulations like, oh, you need archaeologists there, or to have seen the area, you need a biologist, you need a Native American representative, you need public works, you need a geologist. And now all of a sudden you have these like 5 dudes who probably each are getting paid 100 plus an hour. Well, charging 100 plus an hour. They're probably not getting paid 100 plus hour. They're probably getting paid like $20 an hour, and the person who sends them out there is raking it in.
Yeah.
Like I got paid at the end, I was getting paid $30 an hour, but I know they were charging like $120 an hour for me, which makes it more offensive that they weren't able to pay me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the fraction. Plus it's, it's not like my coworker Andrew, he would literally just be there like 40 hours a day every day, even when there wasn't work, or 40 hours every day, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, even when there wasn't work to do. So he's just raking it in. I would come in and I'd only be there for as long as I needed to be because I know they don't have the extra money to spend. So I was already like cucking myself by, I think, on average working 20, 25 hours over a year. And then, or 20, 25 hours per week, over a year.
Yeah.
And, uh, and then I, it's like I was already working less. So in that aspect, I'm already expecting, I'm like, you guys don't even have to pay me as much as you're paying the guy that doesn't do anything. And by the way, like, so he was working twice the amount I was, raking in easily twice
Working.
the amount of hours. Uh, I, at the end of every year, the end of the last year, so in 2023, I wrote twice the amount of reports he did. So
Yeah.
I wrote 60, he wrote 30.
Like he should be paying you from his paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, and they pay me basically half the amount to do twice the amount of work as him.
Wait, he got,
So,
oh, right. Cause of that. Yeah. I was gonna,
yeah.
yeah. But uh,
Yeah. And
he's
then,
probably still there not doing anything.
uh-huh. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not to say it's his fault that they're in financial hardship, but he certainly wasn't helping.
Yeah.
Plus,
Well, and the fact they weren't setting boundaries with them.
yeah. Um, Plus when I left, they kept offering him these little extra gigs from people that they were friends with. And one of them was one where he would go and survey an area in Northern California for one of their friends. And for that project, he was going to get per diem, mileage, time driven, and obviously work time and report writing time. And he was going to get paid $50 an hour for that.
Wow.
And I'm like, where was my offer? Hmm?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I know it's not because he does better work.
Yeah.
Like,
They I mean, it sounded like they weren't happy with him anyways, and then they just felt stuck because they didn't know how to be bosses.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, like I get that labor's short and it's hard to find good labor, but you just lost good labor because you're prioritizing a guy who doesn't do shit.
Yeah. They literally could have just offered you, like, if they weren't able to pay you, they could have just offered you those gigs to be nice, knowing
Yeah.
that because you haven't been getting paid.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly would have helped. It's hard to say whether it would have been enough, but you know, if they had been doing that the whole time, it would have helped a lot.
I I like it's hard for me, like, I met your bosses, and but looking at how poorly they've handled the situation, part of me is just like you should just report them. Like, you know,
Yeah.
because they kind of made their bed at this point. It'd be one thing if they were like really just trying to do the right thing and stuck, but they're not even handling things well. So,
No, and it's like I left my last day was end of February. I haven't been paid since then.
yeah.
You know, I was very clear. I was like, "Hey, you guys don't have to pay me like immediately. I get you can't make money come out of thin air, but like, you know, every time you pay Andrew, pay me like I was still working here, you know. You don't have
Yeah.
to pay me it all at once, but I would like to be paid. I would like
Yeah.
to."
And they're not.
No, they haven't even contacted me.
That's
And
not.
they were supposed to take me out to like a farewell dinner and they had to cancel and then they never rain checked.
Mm,
So I'm like, okay.
yeah. That's 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 not cool, man.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen the let me see. Seen like the meme about like babies throwing up?
No, I don't think so.
Let me see. I know I have it on Instagram. I'll send it to you because Alex
Okay.
sent it to me. And it's literally like a perfect representation of what Andrew did in my car. For reference, Andrew, my awful coworker or ex coworker at this point, um, projectile vomited in my car without any warning. He just put his hand over his mouth and then vomited so hard that it splattered on me while I was driving and all over the side of my car. And he just went, oh, oh,
So gross. I had a
oops.
friend do that in my car, and he didn't warn me in time, and then I was I had just listed the car for sale, and it had this matte interior, and the vomit like damaged the
Yeah.
interior, and so I had to like basically armor all the entire interior so it no longer looked damaged. It was no longer nice and matte.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's like this section about like this big on my door that is now weird and discolored and kind of like kind of when plastic starts to fall apart.
No. I'm looking for I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
I just sent it on Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
s-
li- it's li- it's literally like a it's so like gross. It's-
I was like, dude, Andrew really does throw up like a fucking baby.
It just out of nowhere. What the hell did that guy throw up anyway? Did you like drink milk or something? Like it literally looks like baby
Milk
throw up.
challenge. I was chugging gallons of breast milk.
Oh, no. You guys don't need to see that. But if you feel like you need to see it, you can message me and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it's terrible.
There's always like a little bit of a physical response when I see people throwing up, you know.
Yeah.
Just and they say that yawning is contagious.
Vomiting is contagious.
Roar. Ugh. So did it rain there today?
Yeah, it rained pretty hard early on, and then there was sun, and then it rained hard again, and now there's sun again, and it's probably gonna rain hard again, and then it's supposed to be clear tomorrow, and then it's supposed to rain again on Saturday. I don't get to
Yay.
do anything. It's constantly raining.
Yeah, it was raining here earlier and I was just like rude.
Yeah.
Just needs to we have enough now. We can
Yeah.
stop.
I have enough. Guys,
Yeah.
we got enough. We
Yeah.
had 200% snowpack last year from our average rainfall, and then this year we have already gotten 105%. We're good. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it again next year.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Yeah.
make it a yearly thing,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember like when I was a kid and we get like all this rain and it even though we get a lot of rain now, it's not the same. Like
No.
it's still not as much as like when I was a kid. You know, it would be like you'd have like the drought and then it would rain and it would rain so much that like riding home from school on my bicycle, the water was like at the center of the spokes on the wheels, you know, on all the streets in that part of Santa Rosa. And it's just was.
Yeah. Well, I do wonder, like, if some of that is just different rainfall or also different infrastructure. Because there are a lot of areas that used to flood that they just
They fixed it.
put the
Yeah.
infrastructure in that even when they do flood, it's not nearly as bad.
Yeah, that's true. Even like
Plus,
in Guerneville and stuff, they did a lot of stuff that's helped.
yeah, plus with the amount of groundwater usage we've had over, especially during the drought, I mean, there's so much land sinkage, but also just empty pockets now for the water to go into.
Yeah. Sinkholes.
Mm, love those.
Those don't
Love,
scare me at all.
love thinking about that. Sinkhole right under me. Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah. Did you feel the earthquake the other day?
No,
Yeah.
I've been told it happened. I didn't feel it.
It was like a 3.0 in Santa Rosa, so it wasn't exactly,
I know.
you know,
Well,
but
it's it reminds me. It's so funny. They keep building these fucking buildings that have no reason to be built in somewhere like earthquake country. But we haven't had earthquakes. It's like the last like 20 years we haven't. I think we had that one significant earthquake that hit like Napa,
yeah.
and that was it. And even then, we're like so constipated. We're so behind on earthquakes.
Yeah, when it
We're so
happens, it's going to be a big one.
it's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be like fucking pudding fart ripping out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like one of those ones where like you hear the roar in the distance. Uh, but knowing our luck, it's gonna be a huge earthquake, and we're gonna be oh fuck, and then Mount Shasta is gonna explode at the same time. We're gonna be oh fuck.
Yeah, it's I mean, I just assume with how quiet it's been that
Yeah,
it's gonna be gnarly.
and his Mount Shasta's like due as well.
And then all the and like people, you know, like there was like after the one in 90, 80, whenever, I don't
It was
remember
like
now.
87 or something.
Yeah, it everyone was like, make sure you have water, make sure you have this, make sure, you know, and it was like this preparation thing. And now like people are so like, you know, most people don't probably don't have the preparation stuff anymore. I just hope they anchor their stuff. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, I made sure I anchor my stuff. I got my little strappy things for the TV. I just need to install them.
Dude, it's I'm trying to think. Most of the stuff that's not anchored in my room is like either stuff that you wouldn't really anchor or stuff that doesn't really matter, like plushies. They're just on
Yeah.
the wall anyway. There's like mirrors on the wall and stuff. And I'm like, if that breaks, I don't really fucking care.
Yeah. it's just gonna that's not gonna like fall and kill you. It's just gonna fall and hit the ground. And
Yeah.
that's more like I always think about things like when that one that happened in the 80s, I was on the phone and that person, their bookshelf fell on them while we were on the phone. And he was okay, but like, it's one of
Yeah.
those things that kind of stuck in my head of, you don't want things to fall on you.
Yeah.
And the straps for my TV, I'm not worried about my TV falling on me. I'm worried about having to buy a new TV.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing about all this insurance we have is we can never use it.
Yep.
You have to
I,
have it, but you can't fucking use it.
yeah. I know, like the renter's insurance, a lot of places require it, but then like a lot of places are no longer providing it anymore. And then if something like an earthquake happens, the insurance company is not even gonna they're not even gonna pay out.
Nope. They're
It's an act of God.
it act. What if I don't believe in that?
Yeah.
That's why that thing
I
pisses me off so much. I'm like, I don't mind them saying like, "Ooh, it's out of our control." It's a dickhead thing to do, but don't call it a fucking act of God. Don't push your
dude,
agenda on me.
when we lived in Rio Nito when you were a baby, the insurance the actually called like if say a branch from a tree fell on our car, that would have been considered an act of God. And I got like so uppity about it that they actually changed the language. I was like, if you deny me coverage because of this and you call it an act of God, I will take you to court and ask you to have God explain to me why he smashed my car. Like this is unacceptable to me. So they ended up changing it to like a natural disaster or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's just calling anything act of God nowadays. I mean, it's you're looking to get sued.
Yeah. Just like, no.
Yeah. It's just insurance companies are such a scam, especially nowadays. I mean, some people in like Santa Rosa, I mean, obviously they're in the burn path, but they're paying like upwards of $13,000 a year
Yeah.
for like homeowners insurance. And it's probably the kind of homeowners insurance that isn't even going to pay out. But like we have so many regulations here in California that like require you to have insurance on everything that even when it doesn't cover anything.
Yeah. I have been reading about like these cases of people like just having their insurance yanked from them. And so they're falling back on the insurance that the state of California themselves offer. And because for some people that's like the only option, but it's like I think the state's trying to figure out how to fix the problem.
Well, the obvious fix is just get rid of private insurance companies because they don't want to pay out anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so many people are like, "Oh, I have homeowners insurance in case something happens," and then a tree falls on their house, and you're like, "Oh, did you use your insurance?" "Oh, no." Then my premiums would go up.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
no, I'll just pay 10K out of pocket.
Yeah, you literally get punished for using the thing that you've been paying into, which is
Yeah.
um
You got to fight for it, and then they punish you.
yeah. All of that stuff shouldn't be that way. Shouldn't be allowed to be that way.
No. Yeah. Cringe.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed is the driving force and way too many things that are not really shouldn't really be about that.
Yeah.
Shake fist.
Oh, damn you, greedy bastards.
I was like, I've been watching Futurama, so like that voice, like that went right in there. My brain just went right to Futurama.
Is there a new season?
No, I just like it's really good TV when you're doing stuff. Like I
Yeah.
was putting a shelf together, so
I think there might be a season I haven't watched. I don't really remember.
there is a new season that came out last year, I think,
Okay, I didn't
and
watch that.
yeah, I
Oh, you know
enjoyed.
what? I watched one episode or one or two episode of it, and then I think I lost access to Hulu.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, just because they held true instead of trying to change it or modernize it or anything.
I think they
They just
kind
went
of modernized it. Like not in a
there's the COVID reference.
yeah, they made
Yeah.
references to modern concepts. Like
Yeah.
the data mining.
Yeah. But they didn't change like it's still Futurama, which is I think the, you know,
Yeah,
after a decade or however long it was that they hadn't made stuff.
yeah. I was in one of my D&D campaigns, not the one I'm running, but the one I'm part of. Last Saturday we were talking about joke characters and stuff like that, and one of my friends is like, "Oh, I hate joke characters. I've never played a joke character." I'm like, "Well, what is a joke character?" You know, and we started talking, and I was like spitballing this character. I'm like, what if my next character is the Gobbler? And he's just this like large Slavic man who, uh, in the campaign, it's kind of dark fantasy Slavic area. And what if I was one of the wolf hunters there? And I decided I liked living in the woods. I go start living in the woods. One bad winter, I'm running low on food, and all I've got left are the testicles of the wolves I've been hunting. I have been living in these forests a long time now. You learn to eat things no man was meant to eat. And over time, uh, he becomes more acclimated to the wild, and people begin seeing him. They'll see the silhouette of a man, or a beast towering over a mound of wolf corpses, and they call him the Gobbler. And they decided that was not a joke character. They're like, well, that's funny. It's a joke line, but it's not a joke character. I'm like, "Ugh.
No,
Then what's a
it's
joke
not.
character? Am I
Yeah,
just
it
gonna
is
be
a
like?"
joke character.
At that point, I'm like, is a joke character only something that doesn't fit? Like, "Oh, I'm a clown," or something like that.
I'm
Now
a clown.
I gotta walk in and be like, "Honk, honk."
Who's here for closing?
Oh, ugh, ugh, ugh. Like I don't know.
Yeah, so did they ever explain what a joke character is?
No, that wasn't it. I think for them, a joke character is like when someone rolls up with, a character named Sussus Among Us or something, and where it just doesn't fit the world at all. It's very much just like, oh, here's the world, just hammer it in,
Hmm,
you know.
okay. That's not what I would have thought of, but
Yeah, I guess for them it's like it's okay if it's a in-world joke character, but if the character's, doesn't fit and you have to really finagle it in or just kind of plop it in there, then it's a joke character.
ah, hmm, I don't know.
But
I think you should develop the gobbler more though.
yeah, I did make a character page for him. And I was like, like when my other character dies or something happens to him, I'm gonna be the gobbler.
What would it be like a rogue class or what would he?
No, no, I was going with a cleric of nature. So I'm gonna be a cleric that follows the huntress. Um, and then I multi-classed into druid and for this is for Pathfinder second edition. So we're doing free archetype. So I'm a war cleric. I follow a nature deity, the huntress, and then for free archetypes, I took Bastion for some shield feats and druid and wrestler. So basically, I I wear medium armor. I walk up. I got a shield, and I got my fist. And I block, and then I grab the wolf, and I knock it prone, and I rip its balls off. I have a feat called Crushing Grab. So, do with that what you will.
so, so basically, the character reached the point where it no longer cares about eating the rest of the wolf. It just goes for.
No. It's an awful exaggeration. He does eat the testicles, and he eats them first too. But when the party asks him about it, he'll tell them, he'll be like, I do not eat the testicles first because I like them. I eat them first because they only get worse with time.
How's your campaign you're doing going?
It's good. We're almost at the end. Um, Nug, bro, it's just people. Nug, Nuggy, hey, come here, you little wormy, come here. Yeah, you little worm creature. Come on, up, up, Nug, up. What are you
She's
doing?
like,
Ah, you
because you
bitch.
want her to do it, she's not gonna do it.
She's here's Nug. Stop goofing. Nug, come here.
Oof, oof.
Up. Yeah. Yeah, you doggy. Look at the doggy. Yes. I give you a kiss, but you have worms. I don't want
Ew.
worms. I'm already so worried I got worms from you, creature. Huh. Yeah. Did you give me worms? I hope not.
Rawr.
Yeah. No more boofing. Don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, it's been good. We didn't meet last week because there was our my me and Alex's friend Jacob came up from SoCal, so we saw him in person. And but so far they've been making good progress. Very narrowly almost dying and not. So we'll see if they actually make it to the end or if they just die. But
So
it's
close.
yeah, it's so they're like level 19. 20 being the max. They're very high level play. So
Do you have like the next one planned already?
in ways, I have a lot of the world setting pre-written, but some of it's going to change based on how this campaign ends. So a lot of it's still up in the air. Because basically, when they finish this campaign, the final thing is they get to make like a super wish. They get to use a wish orb. So
Ah.
depending on the character who gets it, they might wish for something like really fucked.
And you'll
So
like incorporate that into the next campaign.
yeah, yeah. Depending on what they wish, it might have a large effect.
I still think it's funny that when you were younger, I was like, you should get into D&D. And I tried to get you into it, and you were just like, no, you were not having it. But I knew you were going to like it. So once you did get into it, I was not surprised.
Yeah.
I, s- I don't think you're in a mood or something. Oh, it disconnected.
Oh, my okay, am I back?
Yeah,
Okay. My camera's different.
that's weird. The video changed.
Yeah, I noticed that. I didn't I didn't change it.
I don't know. Zoom is does its own thing sometimes. There. Now You're not making any noise. Nope. Is it like down in the audio area at the bottom? Like, did it deselect or? Yeah, there's no sound. It's weird. You'd Brooke. Hmm. Well, I could always just wrap it up and then it's probably like a needs to restart the app or something issue because Zoom. It does like if I get a phone call, like if I'm using my phone, and a phone call comes in while I'm like during therapy, it'll break my sound. And I don't hear anything. I want to make sure my settings are no. I just nothing. It's like no sound. But you can hear me. Yeah, it doesn't show like it shows you muting and then unmuting, but it doesn't. Huh.
Okay. Hello?
Oh, yeah, now you're there.
Okay, I just had to reload. And then it keeps using the wrong. It's like not using my video from the video source. It's using it from like a virtual camera that's filtering it.
Weird.
Like I have to keep changing it. I don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I had an issue where I couldn't get Zoom to connect to my headset for like a month. No idea why. I ended up having to uninstall it completely, reinstall both my headset and Zoom to fix it.
Bruh. Yeah.
Ooh.
Hmm.
What you having for dinner?
I don't know. It still has some leftovers she needs to eat. She probably won't eat them, which means I have to eat them. So then, yeah,
Yeah.
probably leftovers.
I made quinoa and was planning to do teriyaki chicken and broccoli with it.
Mm,
So probably just do that. I got that like pre-made teriyaki chicken from Trader Joe's.
mm. How is that one?
I haven't tried it yet, so we'll see. They use dark meat, which already makes me a little sus, but if the sauce tastes good, it should be all right.
Yeah, that's one of the main issue I usually have with prepackaged food is that the sauce is awful,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of like, how'd you get that part wrong? That's like the easiest part. You literally,
Yeah.
it's the shelf stable part. Why is that the part that's bad?
Yeah. I've had pretty good luck with stuff like that from Trader Joe's, so hopefully it'll be okay. But
Yeah.
if I really don't like it, Dave will eat it. So
Oh yeah, grandma wanted to know if you wanted to go get Indian at some point since your eating is better.
yeah, I could probably do that. I had some butter chicken the other day and I was okay. So
Yeah, we should go to turmeric.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just get some chicken tikka masala. I
Chicken
really like China
tikka.
masala, but it's so hard to find it without like onions.
Yeah, isn't that part of like the main ingredients?
Yeah, but some
Like,
places like it's like cooked in like enough that it's okay as long as it's the only thing with onions I have for a while. And then some places it's like super chunked up, like big, where it's not cooked down enough.
I think you might be able to get it there. I've had it before. I don't remember it having visible onions,
Yeah.
but
I
that
don't
is
know
like
why.
the second
Yeah.
ingredient for chana masala. So
Yeah. There was that place in Berkeley we used to go to, and the
yeah,
chana masala was good there. And I had some discomfort, but it wasn't horrific. It's not like It's like it's
Where's
weird
the
how
price?
yeah, it's weird how like the more cooked down they are, the less of an issue it is. Not like that with garlic. I guess garlic doesn't cook down like that.
Yeah, garlic just gets more potent.
Yeah. Garlic's so delicious though.
I know. I love garlic.
Yeah. It's like people asking me what my favorite pizza topping is and ignoring the fact I don't really like do favorites. I'm always just like, it doesn't really matter since I can't eat pork. So
Yeah,
like because like every topping, with the exception of some places have beef sausage, which is gross.
yeah,
Just texture wise, it's like no. And then chicken, which does not belong on pizza.
yep.
Um,
No,
just unacceptable. So I'm like vegetable pizza is what I eat.
least pain,
Yeah.
most pleasure.
Yeah. Every now and again I'll splurge an a no nitrates or whatever uh pepperoni, uncured uncured pepperoni.
Just put it on your own pizza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep trying to get uncured bacon at Costco, and they haven't had it in like months.
That's
I'm
rude.
like, I feel personally attacked.
Yeah. It's
Where's
not
my
nice.
uncured? I know.
I remember I like I remember it was like when I first realized that that was an issue for me, they were just starting to come out with uncured stuff. So it was kind of new, and like some stores would have it, and then sometimes they wouldn't have it, like the uncured salami or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, like there's I was thinking about this, like reading the Reddit for the MCAS, the mast cell stuff, is that a lot of the things that people have sensitivities to and that trigger their sensitivities are like the things that we really shouldn't be eating anyways, or we
mm,
shouldn't have in our environment. And so like there's all these like health issues that exist because greed, basically, you know?
yeah,
And it's just weird.
yeah.
Like when I start thinking about it that way, it like kind of breaks my brain.
Right. So you think about like there's the food dyes that people literally are poisoning, like my generation and below.
Yeah.
Red 40, yellow 7, yellow 8, probably more. And they're not banned. Even the
Yeah.
EU hasn't banned them. They have to put a label on it saying it might cause this. But it's like me and my friends joke every time we see like a red Skittle or a red jelly bean. We're like, "Ooh, time for my dose of red 40." It's like
Yeah.
there's so many things that like you eat and you don't even realize it's in there. I mean, you eat
Yeah.
like almost any flavored chip, and it's like, oh, the dusting has a little red 40 in it. Uh, you eat corn, and it's like, what? You thought that was yellow? No, that's yellow 8. And it's stuff where people are like, oh, people have intolerance. People are sick to this synthetic chemical that is literally just being made to make things look pretty. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like no one seems to remember like when people were wearing fuck, what was it? Let me look it up. I don't wanna uh let's see. Yeah, when people were dying from Snow White makeup, the Snow White poisoning makeup. It was a cosmetic that was made from a mixture of water, vinegar, and lead.
Yeah.
Cosmetic. He used white lead as a pigment, and it was detrimental and caused people to die.
Oh, some of
And
the stuff that they've put in makeup over the years, like
like wolf spider attractants. That's my favorite one. My favorite one is the I think let me see, wolf spider attracting lotion. They've found a whole bunch of like lotions and perfumes that inadvertently attract spiders. But there's this big one, and it was literally let me see. Oh, Sol de Janeiro, which huge brand. And it was a body butter. I think it was the whole set, but the body butter was the one that got caught first. And it was literally one of the chemical compounds they used in it that's supposed to smell nice. And this wasn't done intentionally. It happens to be very similar to the chemical compound that female wolf spiders emit when they're trying to mate. And so this woman was talking about how she went from seeing a wolf spider maybe every couple weeks to now seeing a wolf spider almost daily and them approaching her. And it just happened to be just the right dosage that all these male spiders were like, smells like woman. Uh,
Oh boy,
yeah.
oh boy.
Imagine, using this lotion before bed and waking up to wolf spiders trying to mate with your hands, like,
Oh my God.
or worse yet, your face. Just awful.
Yeah, that's awful. They like,
I mean, yeah.
and then how did it's like, I mean, it's like somebody reports it, but then like, did like a lot of people report it, or did it just take like that one person for them to like figure it out? Or
I think it was so it was a lot of people reported it, but I think it was one person was it blew up on the internet because of one person's post. So I think it was that one person kind of put it in the forefront, and then all of these cooperating came
Mhm.
together, and then they looked at the actual chemical compounds and were like, oh, etymologists here are like, oh, that's actually pretty similar to female wolf spider pheromones.
I like how we know like what female wolf spider pheromones are, but we still forget where the clitoris is. Like,
Yeah, those same scientists are probably amongst those.
yeah.
And the female wolf spider ovulates at a cycle of.
I would be so upset. I mean, not that I use stinky stuff, but if it attracted
Yeah,
spiders, that would really upset me.
now I'm terrified. I'm like, every lotion I look at, I'm like, is this gonna be the one? Am I gonna wake up with every
With
Black Widow within a mile on me? Like,
yeah, or potato bugs or something.
oh no, that's so much worse.
It is so much worse.
Oh,
Like I literally like got chased by one when I was younger and it traumatized me. I just,
what soap are you using?
ivory.
Hmm?
It was just like I already had like this whole drama thing with potato bugs. I hated them so much. And I'm at the gas station and I see one like walking across pavement and I pointed it. I'm like, look, it's a potato bug. My friend's like, no, it's not. I'm like, it is a potato bug. And then it turns and comes at me. And I'm just like, you know,
Well, unfortunately, apparently ivory soap is a great deterrent. Bugs hate it. So
well, I
you must
hated it too. It gave me rashes.
well, you have something in common with the bugs.
Yeah, woo. I made my when I told my mom it gave me rashes, she got mad. She's like, "It's 99% natural." I'm like, I
Can't
can't
help what
do
I'm
anything.
allergic to.
Yeah, it's like I mean, she gets spring was it spring fever, whatever that's called.
Hay
I don't
fever.
hay fever, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's 100% natural. So,
I've got it pretty bad right now.
yeah.
That's why I keep sneezing.
Yeah, I was wondering if that might be why my eyes are itching.
Yeah.
I don't normally have too many issues, but my eyes when we lived in San Jose, I always had because of trees there.
Mm,
And there's a lot of trees, similar kind of trees here.
mm.
Very rude. But plant semen. It froze again. There you go. Back.
Whoa. Yeah. I'm having internet issues where it but they're like really weird. It's like it just like cuts out for literally like a second, maybe every half an hour to an hour.
That's weird.
And it's like I don't know what to do about it. Turning it off, turning the router or modem off and on doesn't fix it. Just
Is it something
no.
that, I mean, getting help from Comcast is annoying, but if even possible, but I'm just wondering if it's something they could see on their side or not.
Mm, yeah, I guess I could try and ask tech support.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like how long will it take for you to get to somebody that,
It's like I looked at the router events log and it's not even noticing anything.
yeah,
So
it's
mm,
weird. And it's like pretty, it's like on all, like no matter
yeah, on
what
my
device you're on.
yeah, it does on my phone, it does it on the computer, just everything.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's raining like at the window.
Oh, it's trying to get you.
Yeah, like it's all. Are you missing the mold? You want some more mold? Ah, man. I was reading about this lady in the UK. They installed a whole bunch of like smart meters for the utilities on people's houses, and hers was not working right. And she's been like telling them like, dude, my bill like went up like really, really high, and I'm not using anything. So she couldn't get them to fix it. So over the winter, she basically like just hid in one room with an area heater, and because the bill that was really high was the gas, so she was basically just not using the gas, and it like her family had to intervene, and help her get the utilities to listen because her house not being heated caused mold to start growing. She was starting to get black mold and stuff growing in the other rooms because that allowed like the
Yeah.
humidity and all that shit to like collect.
Ugh.
It's just, and then they finally replaced the meter, but like, dude, you know,
Yeah.
mold's like, ooh. I did that's why I like I watch shows where like like The Walking Dead where it's like 8-10 years later, like when they jumped into the future. Um and not The Walking Dead, but they did that in Fear the Walking Dead. And the houses they go into, some of them look kind of trash, but a lot of them, I'm like, there would be more mold,
Yeah. There'd
especially in
be
the
way more
South.
mold. Yeah. There'd be mold. There'd be like walls and ceilings deteriorating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like not enough mold.
There's definitely yeah, I feel like people really underestimate the importance of like heating, especially in wet climates that get cold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just mold.
Yeah. Well, and like in the South where it gets hot and it's humid, like the air conditioner is what keeps people's houses from molding.
Yeah.
It's and I don't like people. Like when I got really into like air quality stuff and started learning about like dehumidifiers and all that stuff, it was like a lot of people are not familiar with it because in California we don't really, you know, air conditioning is becoming more and more common now that it's getting hotter, but it's a lot of places still don't have it.
Yeah.
So it's like, people in San Francisco, mold is like a huge issue in houses in San Francisco. And I'm like, well, you can get a dehumidifier or an air conditioner you know,
Yeah.
and they're like, what?
Huh? Huh? Huh?
Yeah, I have the dehumidifier running. Set it at the bottom of the stairs so it like comes upstairs, but it doesn't really reach my room. So then I set up a fan at the top of the stairs that pushes the dry air into my room and it's keeping everything at a reasonable,
Humidity.
yeah, not cheap, but
No.
I I just figured with all the stuff that had spores on it,
Yeah.
safer.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Duties. Well, we'll probably wrap this up, the recording part, um I'm never like I wish I didn't have to do the intros or the but I know that it's good to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just so bad at it. It's so awkward. And I actually tried doing them separately from the videos where I did them before and after, like by myself, and that was just as awkward. It's not any easier. So anyway, um thanks everybody for listening and hanging out with us. And I'm hoping to have Brehn as a regular. And if you guys have any questions about anything we discussed, or you want to know more, suggestions, whatever, um, we're
Yeah, I love answering questions.
me too. That's why I'm on that one app that you get questions every day. I like it.
Yeah.
Makes you feel like I exist. um, And now that I'm officially back on Spotify as my host, you can actually submit stuff through Spotify, but you can also just email, and that is in the description for the episode, things and stuff, whatever. And have a good weekend and talk to you guys next week.
Yeah.